Welcome to the third and final part of this 160k FIA triangle. If you haven't watched the first two parts, please go ahead. They're absolutely awesome. You can learn a ton and it's gorgeous, gorgeous flying. So now we just have done the lake crossing and I arrive here at this beautiful top. I just absolutely love this grassy top of that mountain. It looks so beautiful in the evening sun. It's quite golden and it delivers a good thermal, so I can climb up. I can successfully connect on the other side after the big lake crossing, and overall I'm quite happy because that probably means that I can make it home because the conditions look good and there is no super big obstacles anymore. So still, I remind myself, keep focused, so I head north, head towards home, head towards the last turn point of this triangle, and I keep on climbing here and there and follow basically this ridge line underneath me that has also the really good clouds above it, as you can see. So ahead there is a kind of a closed ridge coming up, and you can also see it's the end of a valley, and there's kind of the valley wind blowing up this ridge, so you can really do kind of thermal soaring or a mix between thermaling and soaring. And I just head straight for the ridge and I just fly super close to the ridge, and I actually really love this when you can fly along the ridge and it's going always a little bit up, 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 up. So I just race along the ridge, and yeah, at some point I have to turn around a bit and actually take a thermal as well, because you can see in the front of the ridge there is quite a bit of shade, so there it wasn't so lifty anymore, so I better thought that I take some more altitude so I don't get stuck in the shade down here, because I also need some more altitude to cross over into the next valley. And you can see there are some good clouds above it, but they also produce quite a bit of shade, so sometimes it's tricky to take the good climb, don't get sucked into the cloud, but also don't get stuck in the shade of the cloud and having to land early. So again, I'm thermaling up because there's another big crossing coming up. You can see launch is to the left of the image right now. So many hours ago I took off over there, and it's just an awesome feeling to come close to where you have taken off just hours ago. But still, I want to push this turn point a bit further to make it a super good triangle. So I'm heading over here with the intention to climb one more time. So I'm looking for a thermal. I don't find it initially, but then I can climb over this nose, and I think there was a bird that actually showed me where the climb was on this ridge. As you can see, the sun is now super low down. It's really the evening, and the thermal is not super strong anymore, so it's just mellow, but I take my time and I climb and I just fly along this ridge one more time here, and it's just super cool. I always love it to just fly along a ridge when it's kind of lifty and you can take some thermals. It's just an awesome feeling to surf these ridges. Yeah, again, it's the end of the day, so you can see I'm searching around. I'm just taking small bits of lift here and there while still trying to avoid the power lines that are everywhere here. And I just work myself up slowly. You can see there are some clouds above me, so I do know that there will be a good thermal somewhere, so I invest a bit of time to actually climb. And yeah, because I also know that there probably won't be any better thermal to be had around here. And then I think it's enough, so I continue on the next big crossing. As you can see here, the sun is getting really low, the shades are moving in, as you can see. But ahead you can also see there are still some cumulus clouds. So I'm heading straight for this ridge and I arrive relatively high. So it's always nice to be high at the end of the day, because often down low the thermals get really weak. And I don't really find the climb initially, so I push over the ridge. Usually there it's better to thermal because you have more room, you don't have to worry about the ridge. But ultimately I don't find the thermal above the ridge line, so I find it somewhere in the slope here. And once I have it, I grab it and I just take it to the max. Overall, it's often, as you can see, when I was coming, I couldn't find the thermal, but on the way back, it was there. So this is quite typical for the end and sometimes the beginning of the day, that you just, that the conditions get super cycly. So on the way in, the cycle was not there. On the way back, the cycle was there, so I could climb up. So this enabled me to do one more crossing, and you can see there's still some thermal activity. The clouds are still forming, and I climb one more time up here. And I just always love it super much to climb in this evening thermal. Everything smooths down a bit. It's beautiful golden orange light, and you can see it's just overall super gorgeous, and you can sit back and just enjoy the view after a super long flight and glide towards the last and final turn point. So just at the end of this ridge here, the next ridge coming up, there will be the turn point. And I try to climb one more time here, but I don't really find a thermal. It's just generally lifty, but I cannot really connect and climb up. So ultimately at the end of the ridge, I say, okay, this is enough. And I do turn around and fly back. And now it's basically game over. You can see the sun is about to set. Down below in the valley, the shadow has already taken over. And it's time to glide into the sunset. Super romantic, and reflect a bit on the day. Think about how it was. Just enjoy the last glide. Kind of get in the harness and make yourself small to just glide as far as you can. But yeah, ahead there is also a bit of airspace, and if you watched some of my videos, you already know this spot with airspace, and you also know that there is a good bus stop with a landing field right next to it. So I glide all the way to the edge of the airspace, and then I say, okay, here it's enough, I want to catch the bus. So I check on the phone if I have a connection, and I actually do have a connection in about, I think, 10 minutes, so it was super tight. So I start spiraling down, as you can see here. I'm really going tight into the spiral in order to land next to the bus stop in time. And you can see it down there is the bus stop between the two roundabouts. It's exactly the same bus stop as I have shown in a previous video. It has kind of become my favorite spot to land, as it's so convenient to just land next to it, and you can pack up and get into the bus straight away. Also, as in the last video, I'm coming in a bit high, so I'm kind of always a bit overestimating the valley wind at the end of the day, which is actually not that strong. So once I go onto my final approach, I don't land right next to it, so I land a bit too far. So I pump down my glider in order to lose some altitude and don't have to walk too much. And then I ultimately touch down after a super awesome flight. But at the moment I don't have the time to enjoy too much or to relax too much. I just bunch up my glider because I don't want to miss the bus that is coming just in a few minutes. So I do have to hurry a bit, so I bunch it up and then I walk straight over to the bus stop. And actually I managed to just kind of stuff my glider into the bag and pack everything halfway in order to still take the bus, and that was actually super awesome. So yeah, this is kind of becoming a specialty of mine, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. and it was cool to share this experience with you, and hope to see you next time around. Maybe we do once more a landing next to a bus stop, maybe it will be something else, but yeah, see you next time.